All righty. So before we start, anybody got anything that they want to go over or comment on or anything? Abel, you have any questions? Ken, Michael?
Don't have question.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. So again, the reason that we're going over this stuff is just so that everybody know and understand what we're doing and what value we bring to the world, the community, to everyone. This will help you guys when you're on the phone with the sellers, because now you know why you're saying what you're saying, you know why you're pitching what you're pitching, you know why you're offering what you're offering. I feel as if some people they offer these offers, but they don't know why they're offering, or you're asking these questions, but you don't know why you're asking these questions. Like, what's your PITI? What's your mortgage balance? You're asking that question, but I feel like some people don't understand why they're asking certain questions. So let's go over some of this stuff today. What do we do as investors, and what value we bring to the world, and what value do we bring to the community? Can I just want to just randomly ask that question? Does anyone have a clue of what we bring as investors, or what value we bring to the world?
You solve real estate problems for those who are having a hard time.
I love that answer. I love that one. Anybody else got something that they can beat? That was a really good answer, John Michael.
Let all the Americans get their home.
Housing.
Perfect. How exactly? Housing.
She meant that housing.
Good answer, Sheila. Who else got some maybe an answer? What value do we bring as investors to the world?
I'll say we're solving people's problems.
John Michael answered that one.
Yeah.
You wiping the boogers out your eyes, Jordan? No, I'm just messing with you.
He emphasized John Michael that.
No, it's just so important. We have to say it twice, you know.
I love it. All right, but yeah, y'all both brought up valid points. So as investors, we're all we're really doing as real estate investors, we're just solving people's problems. We're providing housing, like Sheila said. We're literally we're everything that everyone needs. Everyone needs somewhere to sleep. Everyone needs somewhere to put. They need shelter. Everyone needs it. Unless you just want to sleep outside, and that's fine too. But everyone needs somewhere to go. Somebody, which is us, somebody has to provide this stuff. Some investors, they want to, come in here and get these properties at well below market value, fix those homes up for a buyer who wants to buy their first home. Maybe they have a qualified buyer that likes $1 million properties, or maybe $3 million properties. Maybe they have someone who got terrible credit, but they can find a way for them to get into a house with terrible credit. So if you think of it like this, you have the investor. Well, I'm sorry, let's start from the top. You got the seller, you have the wholesaler, you have the investor, and then you have the community around that subject property. So there's 4 people that are being impacted when we do a transaction. Let's start with the seller first. Seller gets what they need to get out of the property. The wholesaler, maybe this is their first wholesale deal. They just got paid $10K. Now they just made their family, well, I wouldn't say wealthy, but they just created a what do you call that? Not cash flow. They just created a lump sum of cash that they probably needed for the past 6 months they've been inside of this business. Maybe they've been in this business for quite some time. They just added another property, or they just helped out another family. So they impacted the sellers. But the wholesaler also got paid during this transaction. The wholesaler that brought it over to the flipper just got done flipping his property, and they just got paid. So now they're happy. They just got a discounted property. Now they're able to fix it up, put it on the market, resell it, get paid maybe 20, 30 grand, maybe 50, depending on the spread that they got. So now the investors, they're happy. Then the other people that really like isn't even included inside of the transaction, but you also have the people that have, you have your community that's surrounding that comp. They can literally, if I was, let's say if I was Jordan and I literally just finished this flip. I'm Jordan. I just fixed this property up and I put it on the market. I sold it. Now my property, I have a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,600 square foot house. My property just now raised the values of the surrounding properties in the area. So now the entire community in that subdivision is now affected by me because I just went in there and I just raised the values. Now, that's not saying that you can sell a house as is for what Jordan just sold his house for. That's saying if these people or the guys that are in that subdivision, if they go in there and fix this property up, they can go ahead and sell it for what Jordan just sold it for. So as long as they do the same amount of repairs and it looks just as nice as Jordan's property, if that makes sense. So you got 4 people in one transaction that has been affected by this purchase. That's valuable right there. That's very, very, very valuable because Jordan came in and said, hey, I want to flip this property because Jordan met this wholesaler and said, hey, I want to make my family some money because Jordan went to this wholesaler. The wholesaler went to the seller and now the seller said, yes, I want to sell this property. So that's 4 people that has been impacted by one transaction. The seller, the wholesaler, the investor, and the neighborhood that's surrounding in that subdivision. All of those people has just now been sorry, my brain's thinking too fast because I'm getting excited thinking about it. But those are 4 people that's been affected by this transaction, guys. 4. I mean, it's going to be more than 4, but y'all get what I'm saying. So what we're doing, we're providing housing for people. So let's pretend like people, and I keep saying people, but let's pretend like there are a few folks that need, a rental. Their credit probably sucks. Maybe they make low income. They got housing for that. You can put them on Section 8. They have investors for Section 8 tenants. Hello, it's me. I'm an investor. I love Section 8 tenants because the government pays. The tenant probably pay maybe $1 a month, maybe $2. So me as an investor, I know that this area or this subdivision is low income, or if this zip code is a low income zip code, I need to bring value to these people. But I can't be greedy. What do? All right, I'm gonna put my property up for rent, but I'm also I'm going to accept vouchers, what they call vouchers for Section 8. I'm going to accept those vouchers so that people who have low income, maybe single moms, single dads, or whatever, or maybe a married couple that just doesn't make enough cash or they don't make enough income, they can come in here and rent this property out from me. I'm bringing value to these people and they're bringing value to me as well. But it starts with us as the investors. We have to be the professionals. We have to be the ones who know. We have to know, like, okay, if we go in this area, if we go in this subdivision, if we go in this neighborhood, if we go in this zip code, if we go in this state, if we go in this city, what value can we bring? Are we going to buy this property and turn it into a group home? Are we going to buy this property and turn this into a Section 8 rental? Are we going to buy this property to turn around and fix and flip it? Are we going to go in here and maybe turn this into a residential assisted living facility? What value are we bringing as investors? We're bringing value to people. So each time you guys are driving around, think what investor did what to this property? How did that transaction look? When you're just driving around looking at houses, this is how I think every single day. Damn, I wonder what did they purchase this property for and what did they do with it? Did they turn around and flip it? Did they rent it out? What did they do with this property? What value did they bring? Guys, as investors, we bring so much value to the world. So much. There's different loopholes around everything that we do, especially with this owner finance and stuff. There are some homeowners who can't get qualified for a traditional mortgage. What do? Well, I can tell you one thing. If I know of an investor who's probably charging me a little bit more on the interest rate and a little bit more on the purchase price, I think I'm cool with going ahead. I'm cool with giving him a 10% down payment or 20% down payment. He don't care about my credit. He know I have an eviction, but he know I have cash and I can pay a lump sum every single month for the next 30 years, just as if he was a regular bank. I'm fine with that. Maybe 5 years from now, 7 years from now, I'll go ahead and refinance this out. I'll get my credit score up. I'll get my credit right, clean it up. And now I can go and get a traditional loan on this house so that I can pay the investor off. But I want you guys to know what value we are bringing. So when you're on the phones with the sellers, you know exactly what's going on. How am I bringing the seller value? Why am I even on the phone with the seller? There's something on the back end that we're going to do with this property. Are we going to wholesale this? Or are we going to purchase this? If we wholesale it, how much are we going to wholesale it for? And what is the investors going to do with this on the back end? What strategies or what exit strategies are out there for this back end investor able to do on this property? Whenever I look at a property, if I'm on the phone with a seller, I always look at what is the end goal? What is the exit strategy? I always look at the exit strategy first. That's why it's so important to know what the ARV is, what the rent rates are, what the loan balance is. Like it's very important to know all of this stuff. Jordan, real random question. How do we help sellers when we're on the phones? And there's no right or wrong answer. It's just, how do we help sellers as investors? How do we help these sellers when we're on the phone?
By discovering their pain and seeing if we can provide solutions for it.
That's perfect. Discover their pain and find the right solution for it. Could you give me like one quick example?
Sure. So let's say, what's a good one? Okay, we had a guy one time who he had a property that he really didn't like care about that much, but he was in debt because he owed $4,000, I think it was, in taxes on it. So like him, he has this debt, he owes these taxes, his property's gonna get taken. So if we ended up, somebody else ended up buying it, but if we could have bought it instead of him, having to pay the city or get his house property taken, he could have got a little bit of money in his pocket and his debt taken care of. And, it's just a better situation for him. I mean, even though he didn't care about the property, he didn't really care what happened with it. I'm sure he would have been a lot happier if he would have got some money in his pocket versus, just losing. Now it's like he's winning.
That's very impactful right there. Unfortunately, we didn't buy it. It's all good.
Right.
That seller got helped. I wonder, was that a cash transaction or was that maybe a subject to or owner finance? I wonder what.
I believe they bought it cash. I think they just paid off actually I think it was auction. I think somebody bought it at auction.
Gotcha. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't think an investor bought it from him. I think they got it at auction.
But do you guys hear that scenario? You hear that situation? They went all the way to the auction. Now, Jordan, was that one of our leads?
Yes,
Oh yeah, fired, bro. Yeah, he let's fire him. He let a seller go all the way to the auction.
No. It was an old lead.
I'm messing with you, bro. I'm messing with you. No, but us as investors, we have access to people that's about to go to the auction, who's about to get their house foreclosed on. We can come in and save these people. That's the value we're bringing. Jordan, that was a really good scenario. Really, really good scenario. I'm gonna piggyback off of that. We can come in here and help these people that are in foreclosure. In fact, we got a foreclosure master in here right now on this call, Evan. This guy is a walking glossary. He's a walking pre-foreclosure book. Knows the codes, knows section 106.3. He knows all of this stuff. And because Evan knows that, guys, us as investors, when we have these sellers, you know, we're professionals. So we have, first of all, we're salesmen. I hate the word salesman. I hate it. I do not like it, but that's what we are. And if we're professionals, we have to know how to extract all of this information out of them so that we can get to the bottom of their situation so that we can bring value to them. There are situations where sellers are, they're in default, maybe $6,000. Let's just keep it even. $5,000. They're in default. They're behind on their payments. They just bought this property last year. So what does that mean? There's no equity. So it says, all I need is $10,000 in my pocket and I'll be good because I'm going to put maybe 2 months worth of rent up for the apartments. That's going to go towards the deposit and the dog fee or a pet fee or pet deposit. I'm bringing that situation up because we just bought a property in Irvin. Lady was $5,000 behind. She only wanted $5,000 in her pocket. She was just going to walk away from the house. I literally have this conversation recorded on my Instagram live. They were just going to walk away from the house and just let it go to foreclosure. Well, hey, we're coming in here. We're going to stop that foreclosure. We're going to put the $5,000 in your pocket, maybe $6,000 if the deal makes sense. We're going to help you be able to come in here and pay your pet deposit. She didn't want to leave the dog. I think the pet deposit was around $350 for these apartments because they were new builds. They were new apartments. So we went in there, helped her out, got on the phone with her, took pictures, walked her through the contract. We paid her before we closed on a property because she needed the money that following week. We paid her before we closed on this property, and we never do that. But in this situation, we did. So we've helped her. She moved on. We're still building her credit. Well, we're actually helping her build her credit as of right now. And now we have a tenant in there paying $4,200 a month. Now the tenant has a place to go. Granted, these people are rich, like extremely rich. But the beauty of us being professionals is that we get to the bottom of these things. We help these sellers out. We know the situation. We can find out what's going on. And what all that's going to do is it's going to have us brainstorm how we're going to put this deal together and how we're going to help this seller in this situation. How are we bringing value to this seller? Well, here we go. She was in pre-foreclosure. We stopped the foreclosure. She needed $5,000 or $6,000. We gave her the $5,000 or $6,000. We took over her payments, and now we're making those payments on her behalf, and we're helping improving her credit. Boom. Where's the next problem at? Who else problem can we solve? We're problem solvers. We are problem solvers. And if we can't solve their problem, then we can point them in the right direction. Sometimes sellers, they don't have a problem to solve. They just want to hear what offers are. What are you offering? I just want to hear something. Let me know. We can't really work with them. I'll throw them in a long-term nurture follow-up, but we can't really work with them because they don't have a problem. They don't have anything that we can fix. There is nothing that we can do or say that's going to make them just so motivated to sell their house at a discount or sell their house seller financed. But us as professionals, as salesmen, guys, we got to know this stuff. We have to know what we are doing. We have to know that we are the ones bringing value. We're not just gaining money for ourselves. We're actually helping out the community and the world, if you ask me. Because there are so many investors around here. Tomorrow, I want to go over running comps, how to determine the ARV, how to determine rent rates, everything that involves numbers, so that we can know what we're running whenever we're on the phones with the sellers. I've gotten to a point where I can, what do you call that? I can multitask. I can be on the phone and run comps and rent rates and run the ARV. I can do all of that while I'm on the phone with a seller. I've gotten to that point. Took me some time, but I've gotten to that point. Let me see if my boy Kenneth is in here. I don't think he went back to work. Yeah, he's back at work. But I've seen Ken type up a message. He works for I think it's Liberty Mutual Insurance. But I seen him type up a message in like 2 seconds while looking at me and still close a sale just like randomly. I'm like, bro, what the hell did you just do? But he's good. He's very good at multitasking. Dude, I do this every single day, bro. I've been doing this for the last 5 to 7 years. So what I want to do is I want to shrink that time down, that amount of time that it took me and Ken to figure out how we can do all of this stuff all at once and be able to multitask. I want to shrink that amount of time down to like maybe 2 weeks. It's going to be tough, but it's going to take us doing this every single day. And it's also going to take you, as a student, no, not as a student, but it's going to take you as a teammate to study every single day. So if we send out videos, if we have film, if we have any of that stuff, like you're going to have to study this every single day until you understand it and you can comprehend it. You can also know everything that we're saying word by word. That's how I became a closer. I listen to every single phone call, every good call, every bad call. I listen to every single call. I'm looking on YouTube, but before I even got into the sub-2 mentorship, I'm all on YouTube just listening to people's calls. Oh, I would have done better on this call. I would have done better on this call. Oh, that was a really good line. Maybe I can use that in my whenever I'm on the phones with a seller. But I want to start doing this every day so that the team, because I want to bring value to you guys. And I want us to start closing deals comfortably. But I really want us to start closing deals. It's going to take time. Guys, you have to put the work in, and I want you to put the work in because you want to, not because you have to. It's a really big difference. I can come in here and close a lead today because I want to, not because I have to. But my mindset is I have to do this. I have to close these leads. I have to make money. So this week, we're literally, all we're doing is we're literally just going back to the basics. We're going back to the basics. That's all we're doing this week. No role plays. We're still going to make our calls. I want to shout out to our texters. You guys are doing a really, really good job. We got like 38 new leads in the past 7 days. Keep those leads coming in. And I want to break down another thing. As those leads are coming in, if your phone is connected to Follow Up Boss, you guys should be receiving a text notification. So if you are getting those notifications, that like I just got a notification right now, there's an unclaimed lead. That means a new lead has been sent over. When those leads come in, drop everything you're doing, claim that lead. If you're not doing anything, claim that lead. Get on the phone with that lead. They're ready to go right now. Get on the phone with them. If you're a lead manager, just get the basic information, motivation, price, timeline, condition, get all of that stuff, put it in the notes, send it on over to a closer. Let them go ahead and finish it up. But I think as of right now, you want everybody getting on the phones with the, okay, perfect. Perfect. So that means everybody got to start coming in here and claiming these leads. If you don't get it fast enough, go ahead and come to the first come, first serve pond and get on the phones. So no, there's no role play this week. We're literally going back to the basics and kind of relearning, just getting a refresher. If you already know this stuff, good. But if you have some gray areas in there, please, when we go over this stuff, guys, speak up, ask questions, make sure that you get a full understanding of what's going on, so that when you're out in the field, when you're on the phones, if you're running comps, maybe if you got a deal from another wholesaler or something like that, you will know exactly what you're doing and you'll know how to come up with the right price, because it starts out with the ARV. If you don't know the numbers, I don't know what else to tell you. We got to know how to run these numbers, and we have to know how to make a really good offer. Just because the seller says I want 280 and their property is worth 340 doesn't mean we have to give them 280. It just doesn't work that way. Because one, if we buy it, we want to make a really good spread, $30,000 minimum. If we're flipping, we have to pay the team. I have to pay Shad. I have to pay Don. I have to pay Brian. We have to make at least 30,000 minimum if we're doing a flip. And we have to know how to be able to calculate that number. And if we can't find the ARV, if we don't know how to run numbers, then we don't know how much money we're going to make. But if someone is asking 280 on a 340 ARV property and you think that's a deal, guys, we have a serious problem, and we want to go ahead and solve that tomorrow when we go over the numbers. Is this making sense, or am I confusing anybody?
This makes sense.
Yes, it's good.
Perfect. Perfect. So, I think I talked enough, but if anybody have anything they want to share, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and press mute. Shad, if you want to go ahead, I'll press mute and wait for anyone who has something. If not, then I will be giving you the floor, boss.
All right. Thank you, Jabs, for creating Jabs University so we can get better. All right, guys. So, as we were talked about last week, we need to be on this on the phone. Literally needs to make phone calls, because I have seen Jabs when he makes phone call, he's so determined and on his zone until he picking up talking to a lead that leads becoming a deal. He doesn't stop. He is calling. So if we are not getting enough deal, then Jabs needs to come to make this phone call. He was telling me, then I gotta make some phone call. So we need to help the team. Try to speech term. If you messed up, partner up with other person, like John Michael can talk to Eric. Eric can talk to Jordan. And if nothing is working, talk to me. Go to your notes, mention me on your notes. Tell me in the notes that you need help. So that's the way we can work as a team, but we need to make this phone call. Meanwhile, I have one more announcement. Let me know if you guys didn't receive a invitation from Go High Level. I know Jaya's email needs to be changed. That's probably I'll try to change it today, Jaya, for you on Go High Level. And in Go High Level, we also have some foreclosure leads. You can start to manually call those leads until Don is giving us a onboarding video how to use Go High Level. But Go High Level is functional. You can go ahead and play with it. That's the thing you can do right now. So your first priority, go to follow-up calls, keep making those phone calls. We'll be transferring all the leads from the follow-up calls. It's most likely this week. to go high level. Anyone has any questions or concern?
I have a
No
question
question?
for you.
Yes, sir.
Which email did you send it to? Because I have an email that like I was signed up with on Follow Boss, which is my email, but then when I would like email leads, it would go to a completely different email. I'll just check
What
them
is
both.
your question? Like your follow-up boss email, or are you talking about go high level?
Go high level. Because you said check your email, but I'm not sure which email it would be in.
Okay, let me see. Give me a second. Find that answer. Jordan Dillon. It should be Jordan Dillon @d2discount.com, right?
I'm sorry, you said Jordan Dillon at D2 Discount?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Let me verify that with you. So it should be on this email. If you didn't receive it, that means we didn't add you. Then we need to go ahead and add you.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyone else have any question? All right. If no one has any question, please unmute yourself, guys. And before we go, just two things. My life is abundant.
My life is abundant.
Life
Abundant.
abundant.
I am successful.
I am
I am
successful.
successful.
All right. Peace out, guys. Take care. Talk to you guys later.
Thank you guys. Thanks, Jobs.
Thank you,
Have a great day, guys.
everyone. Have a good